Welcome guys to my channel. I'll be teaching you guys how to draw the structure and perspectives of different objects, people, and items. Hope your time here becomes worth it. In each of these drawings, we first begin by drawing these straight lines. Make them as fade as possible. They are our guidelines which we'll be rubbing as we progress with our drawing, and so the more fade it will be, the less visible. One of the most common questions I've come across from you guys is about the type of pencils used to make such lively and appealing drawings. Well, just to be clear with you guys, for a drawing to appear realistic and top-notch, it is not dependent on the materials used, but rather the skills of the artist. You can use the cheapest tools to come up with amazing results. Back to our tutorial. After the guidelines, now we can draw an outline following the lines as a guide. Unlike the guidelines, make it visible. Here you can use a much darker pencils if you have one. For those who don't have one, you can still use the same pencil. It's a good thing your guidelines were drawn fade. For visibility, now you can apply some force to that single pencil you have. Remember, it's a dice, and so on the corners we need to make it curvy. That's what will differentiate a box from our dice. After the outline, we make some light shading just to give our drawing some life. By the way, it's best if you have a reference picture or an actual dice to look at if you have one. That will make the learning process much easier. This is a perspective drawing, and so we need to make at least 3 such drawings showing what we are talking about. And so on to the next drawing. In this drawing, note that we are repeating almost everything. And just like the other one, we begin by drawing the lines, which in a close look forms a box. Anyway, in this drawing, I'm using just a simple HB and 6B pencils. Later on, I'll be adding to the list a white acrylic paint marker for highlighting the white spots. After the lines, we make a visible outline. Don't forget to add the curvy part on the corners of the box. And by the way, guys, these are some of the simplest steps you can use to come up with any drawing of your choice. With enough practice, it always produces amazing results. If maybe you feel like you haven't understood a step in the video, I'm right here to guide you. At the end of this video, I'll use these steps to come up with a detailed, realistic drawing. That's the part where I'll use the white acrylic paint marker for highlighting. I see most artists use an electric eraser in its place. You'll see how easy it will be. Shading can be very complicated and tough if you don't have enough knowledge. The perspective part is where you try to make your drawing face a particular side, and the shading part is what will determine what side your drawing will be facing. Before I forget, let me write here a small title. If you're still here, guys, I'm very grateful for your presence. It means a lot. Hope your time here is not being wasted and you are gaining something. Let's continue. Now on to the last perspective structure before drawing the realistic one. In this one, there is nothing new apart from the different side it will be facing. For that, let me make it fast. I hope you are yet to be lost. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. And finally, we are done with this one. Observe these 3 perspective drawings. Easy, right? I know that right now they look Chardonnay, and it's kinda hard to determine if those are really dices or just some box we've drawn. That is why we have to use those simple steps you've seen in coming up with our next drawing. This is the real deal, and it will take much time compared to the other ones. But I guess you already know that, right? The more realistic a drawing, the more time it takes to make it. Now let's continue with this mega awaited drawing. Observe the steps. This is my first video about perspective drawing and is one of the easiest drawings you can make. I'm planning on coming up with another tutorial video on how shading and blending works, the steps to follow, and lighting proportions. Anyway, that is for another day. Back to our work. If you noticed, I am currently using a different pencil than the one before. This is a 6B pencil and is very dark compared to the previous HB one. I'll be interchanging them in some parts of the video due to different light proportions. The HB pencil is for making the light shading in places which appear more exposed to the light. On the other hand, I'll be using the 6B pencil for shading these circles you see here. I believe most of you have seen a dice and know how dark these circular structures are. Dark 6B pencil will also be helpful in shading the darker parts of this drawing, such as the side facing us with these 5 circles. That would be the hidden part from the light, and so it explains the heavy shading. Let's continue to observe the flow. In blending, you can use any blending tool you have. I've seen some people using even a tissue paper to blend their pencil drawing. I don't have much opinion about it, but if you ask me, I wouldn't recommend it because it leaves your drawing paper dirty. Anyway, I'm using an earbud in my blending. It is made of cotton, therefore giving a smoother outcome. It is also easy to focus on a small field when using an earbud compared to a tissue, which proves challenging. This is the white acrylic paint marker that I mentioned before for highlighting. You may also use a mono eraser if you possess one. I don't have it, and that's why this is my alternative. It helps in making your drawing have that realistic touch. And we are finally done. I know it was kinda long, but I couldn't cut some parts when editing the video because each part showed an important step. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. More is to come. If you feel that this video was worth your time, I kindly request for a subscription from you. Thank you.